Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Guys, are you excited for that? Are you looking forward to that, or is that a necessary evil for the division? And I'm asking you just objectively, right? I have a job. And my job is to help you to have anticipation. There is one word that keeps the lights on in this industry. And you're told that word is finish. You're told that word is excitement. It's not. You're told it's great fights. You're told it's highlight reels that'll get broken off and put on SportsCenter. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. When the fight is done, there is no commerce. There's no t-shirt to sell. There's no ticket to sell. There's no pay-per-view. There's no popcorn. There's no beer. You can't even charge a guy for pulling in and using your parking lot. It has to be done prior to. So the one word that keeps the lights on in this business is one word that you've never been told. But that word is anticipation. If you remove anticipation, you remove the audience and you remove the money. My job is to help you to know why you should anticipate something, to help to tell you the story of why are we here, and most importantly, how did we get here? If there's ever a fight and the outcome is what difference does it make, you have a problem. Now, of 776 athletes under contract, only 6 of them understand this contract. The other 770, what difference does it make? That's what they're fighting for. The reason they're getting in there and going to trade punches and blows and tackles and chokes with that other person, what difference does it make? So my job is to understand that I'm in an industry with interchangeable mediocrities and to come in and to provide you with an anticipation. But I got to tell you, are you excited for this fight? Because you didn't ask for it. In fact, there was an opportunity to have this fight. Tom even went front row and sat there in Paris with Ciryl inches away. Not only did you not ask for the fight, you didn't demand that you get the fight when they were right there. Entire storylines have come and gone. New heroes have emerged. Truly, a hero has emerged and died down. That hero, between Tom sitting front row and Ciryl having the microphone, is named Sergey Pavlich. From the time that Ciryl ignored Tom's call out in Tom's presence to present time, you, the audience, dismissed both of them. You dismissed Jon Jones and you dismissed Francis Ngannou, and you rised up Sergey Pavlich. And you have since torn him down, and I'm just trying to remind you of the timeline. And now we come back to Ciryl and Tom. And while it's not a fight that you asked for, and while it's not a fight that you demanded, I think that you are excited for it. I think that you are looking forward to it. There was a press conference, and it was done in France. It was over the weekend. And Tom came out. And Tom is not a hated guy anywhere. Like, Tom is just a nice guy. He's a handsome guy. His father's in his corner. Tom's got a family, which he's proud of. Like, Tom is a regular guy. He's just really good at whipping people's ass. They were booing him. And they were booing him, which was not a commentary on Tom. I think it hurt his feelings a little bit. I think it did affect Tom, but Tom misunderstood. They weren't booing him. Booing him was their way of cheering for Ciryl. Ciryl is a very big deal in French MMA, and Ciryl checks a lot of the same boxes that Tom does. He's a very handsome guy. He's a very successful guy. From all accounts, he treats people appropriately. And what would happen if Ciryl wins? That's really the problem with this fight. And I'm curious if that risk is big enough to take. I mean, if Ciryl gets the jump on Tom, Monday morning does not come out that Ciryl Gane is the greatest heavyweight in the world. Monday morning headlines will recognize that Jon Jones is the greatest heavyweight in the world. And it will be a very peculiar spot of if Jon raises his hand and is willing to come back. Will they put him in there with Ciryl? From a sporting aspect, we don't need to see that fight. From a purely competitive, what would happen? We do not need to hold that fight. From a rankings and paying a respect to the integrity of the rankings, there's no other fight that you could make. From a business standpoint, we don't need to see that fight. From a live gate, from a pay-per-view, from a piece of commerce. But what happens if Ciryl wins? You're faced with, who else do you give him? And the problem if you bring in Jon, of course, is that you put Jon back on top with a belt around his waist and a potential unwillingness to defend the belt. You put yourself in a situation that you've already been in and you already failed. If you couldn't get the fight to the ring, which is Jon versus Aspinall, if you couldn't get to the fight to the ring the first time, why could you get it there the second time? If the reason you can get it there the second time is because Jon turns out to be a bully and he will only fight people that he deems weaker than him, and at one point he didn't see that in Tom, but now he does deem Tom weak, then what's the point of having the fight? And if you're not going to go the direction of Jon Jones, you allowed him back into the pool. Somehow the rankings committee does not have a registered Jon Jones in their top 15. That's peculiar. And if you don't go with Jon, who do you go with? Do you hope the fight with Aspinall is so good that you can rematch it? People aren't asking for it now, but you could change that. There's ways that that could become interesting. Do you go to Volkov? Volkov beat Ciryl. He lost the decision, but he won the fight. Do you go to Volkov? At what point do you look at Jaden Almeida? At what point do you realize that the most popular guy you've got is Derek Lewis? It's an interesting question. And it's an interesting question because it does beg, and you would be wrong to ignore Jon Jones. Though the ranking committee has somehow, shockingly and mysteriously, ignored Jon's presence, it would be very tough with Jon's presence. If Ciryl had the belt, it would be equally as hard in Jon's presence to act as though Jon should get a crack at Tom if you were to follow the vein of, what have you done for me lately? And you look at all the other guys that are making towns, making weight, getting licenses, pursuing their goal, showing a respect to the sport the way it was intended. It's a colossally confusing situation, but within the confusion is the fun, which ultimately leads back to the anticipation. And you see, just like that, once again, I have done my job.